Well, welcome. We are back with our fourth session here as we lead up to Grand Rapids Giving Day. I'm so excited to have you both here in the studio. We have Janelle and Taylor with us from Arbor Circle. I'm really excited to learn about your organization. I don't think I have that much familiarity, actually. So
that's a great place to start.
Yeah, why don't we start there? Can you guys share with me, like,
Yeah.
how is your organization, in the community of Grand Rapids? What do you guys do? Yeah.
So Arbor Circle is an organization that provides mental health, substance use, and family services. We have a ton of programming. And while you may not be familiar with the Arbor Circle name, I'm sure that someone you know has experienced us in some capacity. So we are located in Grand Rapids, but we also have several locations along the lakeshore.
Okay.
So we're in Muskegon, Allegan, Newaygo, and Ottawa County as well.
Okay.
We have staff who are primarily social workers. They are folks that are in the community. They're providing everything from counseling supports, kind of your typical therapy. You're going to go into a room, you're going to put the white noise machine on, you're going to chat with your person. But we also provide a lot of services out in the world, meeting people where they are. So we are in schools. We have services that are provided through our jail systems. We are meeting people in their homes. We're all over the place.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing that. I actually have a couple questions. So the type of work that you do, surrounding mental health, I have to imagine, everyone has, been dealing with so much mental health post-COVID, right? So I have to imagine that with your nonprofit, like the needs have just skyrocketed. So like what has changed since then? And like what types of programs have you seen just like be taken advantage of?
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely have seen the needs increase. But one of the cool things is that COVID really got people talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And so some of the stigma around seeking support has gone away. And because of that, we've had a lot more people seeking help.
Yeah.
So, positives to that, because we want everyone who needs care to seek that care. But then, some capacity struggles, making sure we have enough staff, enough resources to support the people who need it. But we've also had some really cool opportunities too. Prior to COVID, we weren't able to provide virtual services, billing and insurance and all those complicated factors. And now that's something we can do. And that has really helped us, especially with individuals who have barriers to that traditional coming into a session, as Taylor was talking about, that somebody who's rural, somebody who doesn't have transportation, maybe they're sick that day, but not so sick that they couldn't make an appointment, just that they can't be there in person.
Yeah.
They may have childcare. There's all kinds of barriers. And so to think now that's not going to keep someone from meeting their mental health needs, where previously that might have been the thing. And then that might have snowballed into more struggles. And so we're really able to do more preventative work. We're able to do more outreach work. We're able to reach people where they're at. And so I think that's been really positive. But absolutely, the needs have increased and the communication has increased. But I do think that's helped with some visibility too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool to hear that the stigmas are kind of being broken down in that, because I think that's just so important for people to even take that first step, which feels very scary. Like I even know for myself, like in my therapy journey, it's like that first step was that wasn't very natural, right? And so I want to talk a little bit like the age ranges that you guys serve, right?
Yep.
So I think it's really cool that it's not like a particular age group. It sounds like you guys are really all across the spectrum. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like I have to imagine that was a very, deliberate choice, right?
So what's probably most unique about Arbor Circle is that we started as a joining together of several other organizations back in the 90s that each had their own service array. They were serving young kids. They were serving teens. They were serving folks who were adults and maybe struggling with substance use.
Yeah.
So all of those services came together in one organization, which means we have the ability to serve people who may be pregnant and parenting, little kids, youth. We have actually a shelter space that is specific for youth experiencing homelessness. And, all the way through adulthood, walking alongside people as they are going through their journey, where one service may leave off, another one can pick up. So that is what is really pretty remarkable. And my favorite part about that story is these organizations sort of setting ego aside and saying, what can we do better together?
Yeah.
And I think the spirit of that is really prevalent in Arbor Circle's culture and the way that we approach how we deliver services.
That's so cool. So, oh man, so many places I could take that. But let's focus in a little bit on the education component, right? I mean, because education plays such a part in being able to take steps towards mental health. So, I mean, if I think through the logistics, right? You guys named like 6 or 7 different counties that you're a part of, right? So there's the actual like providers of that care. There's the actual educators. There's all of these different pieces working together. And even just like figuring out that web, that can feel daunting to a lot of parties. So like, what does education look like in your arena?
Yeah, I think the essence of that is that relationship building between those community partners. And so we really have really long-standing partnerships and established relationships with community partners so that no matter where someone's coming for support, they may be pointing them in our direction or be able to do a warm handoff or where we're coming to them. So we have staff that are doing outreach work where that's their job is to be in the places, whether that's libraries, schools, the doctor's offices, so that we're getting our materials there, we're doing presentations, we're building relationships so that it's not waiting for someone to have to come to us. Or, sometimes they're making a call or an email, but that we're there in the places that they're already at so that it feels more natural. And in some cases, so as Taylor pointed out, some people might not even realize it's Arbor Circle until they schedule an appointment. They say, oh, I was just talking to Nikki and they were at the library and we were chatting and, oh, okay, they're with Arbor Circle. I didn't realize that.
That's cool.
Having different ways to build authentic relationships and make those connections. And then that hopefully breaks down some of that barrier and that anxiety around seeking support.
That's amazing. So as you guys look towards 2025, like, I mean, I have to imagine there's probably a slew of events that you guys do throughout the year, at Arbor Circle. But what are some of those like really exciting like events for you guys? Like what gets you going? Share some of that with us. Yeah.
Well, we get to plan them.
Okay.
So that's probably my favorite part is sort of crafting these experiences for folks to come in and get excited about the work that we do. My favorite event is our end of summer celebration. We just had it in September.
Okay.
It is our open house for The Bridge, which is the shelter for youth experiencing homelessness. And just inviting community members in to experience that space and to see how that work gets done and to meet all of the magical staff who make it happen.
Yeah.
It's like glorious. It is the coolest thing ever. And we get to eat tacos. So that is sort of just thinking about events and things that get the community in and jazzed about the work that we do.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
That's so cool. Is there one for you?
Well, we have one that we're just in the works that's happening in January. So every January we host an event at Wealthy Theater with our partners there, and it is a free community education event. It's our agency observation of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is held the week before. We do that as a community outreach and a way to tackle some struggles that we still have going on in our community related to his legacy. And so that's going to be held in January. It's called Growing Together. And so we're still working out the details, but that's all available, on our website and the socials and all that.
Amazing. That sounds like such a cool event. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Grand Rapids Giving Day. Yeah. Okay, so this is a first for Grand Rapids. It's a really cool event. It's been really cool to talk with so many nonprofits leading up to Giving Day. I'm interested, like, what was compelling to you guys to get involved with Giving Day and kind of be a part of this? I mean, we're calling this a movement, right? Which I think is really cool, and that's a powerful statement as well. So. Goal is to raise $250,000 to go towards 50 plus female-founded nonprofits in our area. So what's compelling about that for Arbor Circle?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that's exciting is that, as I mentioned, so much of our work is relationship focused, and there's a lot of people who don't know where to start. They want to be philanthropic. They want to contribute to the cause. They want to make connections, but it's kind of overwhelming to figure out who to support or who's going to make the most impact. And so to have a way for the giving to be amplified. So there's social media that everyone's talking about. We're all coming together. Somebody can come to one place and say, I'm going to make a contribution and it's going to impact all these organizations.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to come to an event and be able to get to know those organizations at more of a personal level and then build a relationship and maybe come to the event in January or come to our open house. But to be able to break through that clutter and have some opportunity to support without having to do much research on it. You can just, okay, I'm going to come here and they're all here for me and then I can take it from there.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. I mean, it is so powerful, like on the awareness side, like just having so many groups come together. I was saying in the podcast before this where I'm just like, man, there's so many nonprofits that are literally like in my backyard that I would have never known if this event wasn't happening and if we weren't doing this. And, it's just so cool to see like the heart behind so many of these nonprofits. And I'm really excited to see what Giving Day does in its first year, but then also what it can do for, our community in the future. So, all right, last question here. As you guys look ahead, right? So, again, I have a pretty, big passion for, the education behind mental health, right? And I feel like that can be such a barrier for someone to actually just get the care that they need. So what are some ways that people can educate themselves about what you guys do and like how to just get access and this process of self-care, right? Like, I think you mentioned it earlier, Janelle. It's like, this is a new term for so many folks that we're now just talking about. So what resources do you guys have available or would you suggest to somebody that's on that journey?
I would definitely suggest that someone visit our website. That is a great place to go and learn about all of our services. So arborcircle.org, there is a whole tab that is just all the programs and services that we provide. Just check it out, sort of get a feel for who we are and what we might be able to provide for you. And then the next step is to give us a call or send us an email.
Yeah.
Those are the best ways to get connected to a staff person to find the best fit. Our staff are extremely knowledgeable about what's going on in the community, right? We are strong community partners and we want to make sure that if we're not the right fit, that we're connecting you with that next organization or that next community partner who is.
Yeah.
So we're a really good spot to sort of enter into that space, whether or not we end up being the space that you land in, just to make sure that you're getting the care that you need.
That's so cool. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think it's just amazing what Arbor Circle is doing. And I mean, just the reach that you guys have across just the greater Grand Rapids area, but then, expanding out from that. And so I'm excited to see what 2025 brings for you guys and how Grand Rapids Giving Day can just kind of raise awareness for that. So thank you so much for being on this morning.
Thank you.